This is the answer video for Verbals and Red Pandas guided practice. Give this a try on your own first and then watch this video to see how you did, make corrections, and submit your final work. At the very top of the assignment, I have notes for you so you don't have to go back and forth between your guided notes and this activity. Verbals. Verbals were verbs, but they're now functioning as another part of speech. They're pretending to be something else. We have three types of verbals. The first is called a gerund. Gerunds were verbs, but they're now functioning as nouns. No one is doing the action, we're talking about it. Gerunds always end in ing. Here are some examples. Smiling for too long makes my face hurt. I'm not smiling right now, I'm talking about the action, so it's functioning as a noun. It ends in ing, it's a gerund. Sometimes running in the morning helps me wake up before school. I'm not running right now, I'm talking about the action. It ends in ing, it's functioning as a noun, it's a gerund. Some people enjoy dancing to Braden's Fire mixtapes. No one's dancing right now, we're talking about the action. It ends in ing, it's a gerund. That's your first type of verbal. The second type of verbal we have is called a participle. Participles, like all verbals, were verbs, but they're now functioning as adjectives. They're describing nouns. So when you use a verb to describe a noun, it's a participle. Here are some common endings: ing, ed, and en. You should be able to draw an arrow from the verb to the noun it's describing with participles. Let's take a look. The smiling boy ate a chocolate-covered ice cream treat. Here, smiling is describing the boy. Which boy? The smiling boy. We could draw an arrow from our verb to our noun to show that it is describing it. That's a participle. The running teacher was awake for class in the morning. Running is describing the teacher. Which teacher? The running teacher. It's acting as an adjective, so it is a participle. Our last example, the dancing student enjoyed the mixtapes. Dancing here is describing the student. So since it's acting as an adjective, it's a participle. Our last type of verbal is called an infinitive. These are super easy to identify. It's simply to plus a verb. I try to smile and laugh every day. I like to run in the mornings before I come to school. Some people like to dance to Braden's mixtapes. Anytime you have to plus a verb, it's an infinitive. Be careful, it has to be to plus a verb. So I want to go to the store is not an infinitive because store is not a verb. Verbs for infinitives. Okay. So those are the three types of verbals that we have. We're going to, for section 1, identify and classify. So we're going to find the verbals and we are going to label what they are. These are all facts about red pandas. Okay, here we go. Number 1. The first question you probably want to ask is, are red pandas dangerous to humans? So we're looking for our verbal. To ask is going to be our verbal here, and this is to plus a verb, so it is an example of an infinitive. To ask. To humans is not anything. Humans is not a verb. Again, please try this first on your own and then come back and check yours against these answers. Looking for red pandas is tricky. They currently live in eastern Himalayas. Looking for red pandas is tricky. This thing, this action is tricky. I'm talking about the action and it ends in ing. So this is an example of a gerund. Number 3, eating is an important part of a red panda's day. They spend 13 hours a day eating. Can you imagine? Okay, eating. Again, they're not eating right now. We're talking about the action. This thing is important for red pandas. So since we're talking about the action, no one's doing it. It ends in ing. This is an example of a gerund. Number 4, balancing red pandas use their 18-inch long tails to stay upright in trees. We have 2. The first one is balancing. Here, this is describing the red pandas. Which red pandas? The balancing ones. Since it's functioning as an adjective and it's describing something, this is a participle. Our other verbal here is to stay, which is to plus a verb. This is an infinitive. Next up, number 5. Red pandas are known for their ability to escape enclosures easily. To escape, to plus a verb. This is an infinitive. Number 6. Firefox, the search engine, wanted to be unique by naming itself after the red panda. There are 2. The first is to be, to plus a verb. This is an infinitive. We also have naming. Here, we're talking about the action. Firefox did this thing to be unique. So here, this is going to be a gerund. If you want to call the animal by the original English name, it's party-colored bear. To call, to plus a verb. This is an infinitive. Number 8, saving the red panda should be a priority. According to the World Wildlife Fund, there are fewer than 10,000 red pandas left in the wild. Saving. Here we're talking about the action. This thing should be a priority. It ends in ing. We're talking about the action. No one's doing it. This is a gerund. 9. There is a fighting red panda in the Kung Fu Panda series, Shifu. Fighting. Now be careful. Look what this is doing. Which red panda? The fighting red panda. This is describing something. So since it was a verb, but it's now functioning as an adjective or a descriptive word, this is an example of a participle. Number 10, to escape predators, red pandas climb trees or rocks where they blend in with the red lichen and mosses. To escape, to plus a verb, infinitive. Number 11, hungry red pandas like to eat leaf biscuits at the zoo. Some people have been selecting hungry. Hungry wasn't a verb, that's a straight up adjective. Verbals were verbs, but they're now functioning as other parts of speech. So here, to eat is going to be our verbal. This is an infinitive. Number 12, relaxing red pandas spend most of their time in trees. Relaxing is describing the red pandas. Which red pandas? The relaxing ones. This is a participle. 13. Finding red pandas in pairs or families is very rare. They tend to live alone. There are 2. Finding red pandas is rare. This thing is rare. I'm talking about the action. It ends in ing. This is a gerund. We also have to live, to plus a verb, infinitive. 14. Snacking red pandas tend to enjoy bamboo, fruit, insects, bird eggs, and small lizards. Snacking. Which red pandas? The snacking red pandas. It's describing something. So since it was a verb and now it's functioning as an adjective, it's a participle. And our other one here is to enjoy, to plus a verb, infinitive. Last one, 15. Red pandas have an extra working wrist bone that acts like a thumb. Working is describing the wrist bone. Which wrist bone? The working one. Since it was a verb, it's now functioning as an adjective, a descriptive word. It's a participle. Okay, so that's it for us actually identifying and classifying. So now you're going to create. You are going to create some verbals. So what you're going to do is choose your favorite animal. It could be whatever animal you want. For example, a kitten. You're going to put a picture of it there. You could draw it, or you could drop in a picture from, oh, she looks angry. I don't want that. There we go. You could draw it, or you could drop it in from Google Images. La la la. Here's my cat. Sure. All right, and now you're going to create sentences with verbals that describe your animal with fun animal facts. So the first section, infinitives. I have examples of each of these for you. So kittens like to bathe in the sunlight. You're gonna write 4 sentences about your animal that has to plus a verb. Make sure it's a verb, not showing direction, but it's a verb. Okay, the next one, participles. You are going to describe your animal using verbs. So participle example right here. Purring kittens are usually happy. Which kittens? The purring ones. Remember, these are not adjectives. They are verbs that we're using as adjectives. The barking dog, the purring cat, the leaping lizard, the sleeping chinchilla, whatever you want. But we're using verbs to describe the nouns. And the last one is gerunds. And again, I have an example. Kittens enjoy scratching to keep their claws clean, removing old material. We're talking about the action. It ends in ing. So you're going to list some actions that your animal enjoys. Okay, so finish up that second section where you're creating your own verbal examples, and then turn this in for your participation points today.